Lots of important videos that I want to make today, and I got distracted, and then I got an email saying the Charterhouse auction starts at 1 o'clock. It's 20 past 12 now, so instead of doing all the things that I planned to do, let's have a look at this auction. I've requested to be registered to bid, so let's see what happens, shall we? We'll go through them, I'll open them in a new window, and we can take a look and see which cars we fancy in this auction, and then later on today we can have a look at what they actually sold for. Morris Minor, lot 1 with no reserve, not really that interested in the Morris Minor. Eccles Caravan, not quite sure what you do with it. Lot 3, Wosley Special, not interested in that, nor that, nor that, nor that. Oh, that's nice though. Austin A90 Atlantic, estimate £7,000 to £9,000. Let's open that and take a quick look at that, because that looks like a pretty thing. Where's the button to, there we go. That is lovely. Look at that for a retro classic car. Very nice looking, beautiful colour. Cheap classic at £7,000 to £9,000. What's it going to make? We will find out later on. Let's go back to the listing. Lot number 8, Mercedes-Benz SL500 Mille Miglia edition. The Mille Miglia is an interesting one, actually. Let's open that because it has an interesting interior. This was one of many special edition R129 SLs that came out. So this is an N-Reg, so it's 1995. It came with different wheels. It had this badging down here, and it had a red insert interior, I believe. I think the Mille Miglia came in a couple of different colours. For some reason, the pictures are quite pixelated. Not sure if you can stomach the red inserts on an SL, maybe on an SLK, not so much on an SL, but there we go. I think that looks cheap with the estimate at 8.5 to 9. Nice car for the money. Back to the auction. Aston Martin DB9 Vantage Volante. These just look like no money for what they are. £13,000 to £15,000. And look at it, absolutely glorious looking thing for no money. Does it come with a number plate? 131 BHR. Pretty cool plate on that, if you're into private number plates, which you all know that I'm not. But I like an Aston Martin DB7. I think they are some of the finest looking cars ever made, so we like that. Let's close those and go back to our auction. Lot number 10 is a Vauxhall Insignia SRI CDTI EcoFlex. What is that doing in there? No idea. It's not a classic car. Lot 11, let's take a look at this. This is a Range Rover P38. It's a late one on a 2000. It is that glorious blue colour. Has it got a beige interior? If that's got a beige interior, then I'm probably not going to bid on it, because this is going to go for a lot more than the Geoff budget, which, if you're interested, is about 1,500 quid. Although you can't get much for 1,500 quid at the moment. I will be. What is with the hippo? I like it. Did you know Pablo Escobar owned hippos? Quite a funny story about that, but that's one for another day. It's a black interior by the looks of it. No, it's grey. I'm struggling finding cheap cars at the moment, and you probably are too. Because what you used to pay 1,500 quid for, you've now got to pay 3.5 to 4 grand for. I'm going to make a video about this, and there is a new Facebook group as well that I started yesterday for cars under £2,000. Get yourself in there if you use Facebook and take a look, because I will be making a video on all of your suggestions for £2,000 cars. Right, speaking of which, Daimler 6 X300. Yes, I'll have this. The XJ40, not so much, but again, these used to be cheaper, but they rust. They rust for fun. But this is a lovely looking car. Obviously, it's the Daimler version, so it's got the fluted grille. And that is the only place in the English language where you see the word fluted used. And it's quite hard to say without your teeth in. Fluted. So there you go. If you want a Daimler with a fluted grille, it's £2,000 to £3,000. That's lovely. I like the look of that for a large road trip. I've got a large road trip coming up, actually, next week, because I've bought a car that you haven't seen yet on the channel that has turned out to be a complete and total nail. I was essentially ripped off by a dealer, and it's an end-of-life car. So I'm going to see how far I can drive it before it breaks, and then I'm going to dump it in whatever country it breaks in. Or if I make it to my destination, then you're welcome to fly over and have it. I'll leave the keys in the ignition. All you got to do is fly to the airport that I leave the car at and drive it home. So that's my idea anyway, so we'll see if that actually happens next week, but more on that later. I like the look of that Bristol 400, but it's not something that I'd want to buy. You guys probably want to have a look at it though, don't you? 1948 Bristol 400. Interestingly, I've done the numbers on the latest Iconics video, which I will be doing a video on soon, the latest Iconics auction. I've actually done my most complicated Geoff spreadsheet ever using Google AI to help me with formulas, and I've calculated everything that you want to know on that auction. So I'll be getting that out in the next couple of days before their next auction because it's very interesting. Not really bothered about that Bristol. Let me know what you think in the comments. Land Rover. These actually, when you see my video, you'll see that the prices on these are softening. MGC GT. You all liked my MGB when I put that on the channel. Well, Luke's MGB. So let's take a look at this. I love the colour. I like the fact that it's got a wood wheel. They didn't all have wood wheels, although maybe the MGC did. The C, obviously, is the 6-cylinder version of the MGB. So you had a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, and they did a V8 as well, with the Rover V8, the 3.5, I think it was. That's lovely. I like that. But how much is the money on that? £10,000 to £12,000. That's above the Geoff budget. This is a gloriously beautiful car. Look at the Jaguar XK150, but look at the price. £34,000 to £36,000 only. Didn't these used to be £100,000? And I know you can't say that everyone's the same because some of them have been restored and some of them haven't, but I tell you what, from a distance at a classic car show, nobody can tell if your car is a concours winner. That's the thing. So £34,000 on that, yes please, except not because it's not 1,500 quid. And that's the Geoff budget. Let's go back to the catalogue. Range Rover. We all love a Range Rover Classic, £15,000 to £17,000. It uses the word Balmoral in there. All the Range Rovers have to have some connection to the royal family, don't they? Which is quite hilarious, considering that what the royal family have done for us. And you can let me know in the comments what the royal family have done for you, but I can tell you that they've done absolutely nothing for me, and they've done absolutely nothing for the country in the last few years. You would think if they were bothered about the decline of the UK, they would step up and do something about it, but no, they just sit back and take all the money and live in the big houses. But maybe that's a communist way of looking at things, and I'm absolutely not a communist. So I don't know. Let me know if you like this Range Rover. Let me know what you think about the contribution of the royal family to your life. Minis, they're just everywhere. I'm not interested. But this Toyota Celica ST185, it's a GT4. These are cool. And there was one of these in the... There's only one photo, but that is a cool car. What is the estimate? It is £6,000 to £7,000. This is one to keep an eye on because, based on my analysis... Can't spell the word analysis without anal. Based on my anal analysis of the auctions that I've done so far this year, rally cars do very well. This is a rally-derived car. Should do well. Renault 4, but sadly it's been withdrawn. And then the only electric car that I would actually buy, a Sinclair C5. Shall we bid on it? Yeah, go on then. We'll bid on it. Right, does it work? If it works, we're having this. Sinclair C5 battery electric recumbent tricycle. Sold as is. Bidders must satisfy themselves. More information. Not used for some time or tested. It's a bit of a risk, isn't it? I don't really want to buy a Sinclair C5 if it's not working, because as fun as that would be, there's nothing I can do with it. So I'm going to pass on the Sinclair C5. I've registered to bid, but I don't think my registration has gone through yet. We've got another one withdrawn here, a 1955 Standard 10, and then an MGB. Shy 560S. Why does the number plate Shy 650S ring a bell to me? Shy 650S. We've seen a car with the number plate Shy 650S go through an auction. I'm sure we have. I'll do some more digging and see what I can find out, because that rings a bell. I don't know why that number plate feels so familiar. A couple of old things here, but look at the prices of them. So this is almost 100 years old, this Austin 7, and it's absolutely lovely, and it's only worth £4,000 to £6,000. Don't you think that's quite interesting that these are just worth so little? That is a lovely little car. You're only going to use it for popping to your local classic car show and going to picnics, and everybody's going to smile when they see you, and you're going to smile when you drive it for only £4,000. Sign me up. Same with the Austin 7, and I just like the fact that it's called a top hat. It's an Austin 7 top hat from 1928. I love it. £8,000 to £10,000. A Packard Straight 8. I love the look of this Packard. There's an excellent YouTube channel called Ed's Automotive Reviews. and he's a Dutch guy, and he makes videos about American cars. He's absolutely fantastic. He's one of my favourite YouTubers. Ed, if you're watching, I love you. Go and look at Ed's Auto Reviews, and while you're washing up later, prop your phone up in front of the washing up bowl in a way that it won't fall in, and just enjoy Ed's history stories about the American car industry. Start with his one on tail fins, the history of the tail fin, because that's a great place to start. And then just work your way through his back catalogue of videos. He's absolutely superb, and I love the way he says Packard, because he's Dutch. It's brilliant. So, Ed's Automotive Reviews. Ed, keep it up, mate. I absolutely love your channel. And that is £10,000 to £12,000. What a lovely looking car for no money. American cars are so undervalued in the UK. Peugeot 504 V6. Let's take a look at that. Oh, crikey, if this video goes on much longer, the auction's going to start. This is just lovely. The Peugeot 504 is one of the finest looking cars I think that has ever been designed. And did you see the mock-up of the Peugeot 504 electric car? Let's find it. Peugeot 504 electric concept. It was wonderful, and it is the one EV that I really would have actually wanted to see made. Here it is. That is wonderful. We're on Auto Proto Kenya for this, actually. If I can get this image to open up larger. No, I can't. Sorry, Google. I'm doing this live. This is an off-the-cuff Geoff video. But don't you think this looks fantastic? Let's try that again. Now, this is taking us to Peugeot. Let's refuse the settings. There we go. This is the Peugeot 504 E concept, the E Legend. It's obviously based on a Peugeot 504, and it's just beautiful. I love it. Why can't they give us cars that look like this in 2025? Oh, it's just fantastic. Even the interior, I'm not so sure about the wheel. But look, the wheel's got wood on it. So I am interested in that. But the profile of this car and the interior and everything was so great. And then they give us an E208 instead. Come on. Oh, it's got focal speakers as well. That's a really good make of speakers if you don't know. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. There's the Peugeot 504 in the background. Just a fine looking car. Come on, Peugeot. Give us that. That is what we want. Give the people what they want. That is what we want. Back to the catalogue. £15,000 to £18,000 on that. Let's close all my tabs that I've got open. If anybody's watching from one of these companies that goes through the internet and scrubs all your personal data, please get in touch, because I want to try one, and lots of YouTubers are sponsored by them, so maybe one of them is watching and could sponsor me. A couple of really nice looking cars here. The Fiat has sadly been withdrawn, but the Lancia Flavia Pininfarina Coupe. This is a lovely looking car. In fact, it's very similar to the Peugeot 504 that we just looked at. They could indeed be related. Maybe they are distant cousins, or that's probably its uncle or something like that. You can see the similarities there with a big coupe, 1975 and 1964. So yeah, they're a very similar thing. Another gorgeous coupe here. This is a Fiat 125B at £30,000 to £35,000. Sorry, I didn't mention the money on that. 17 to 19 on the Lancia Flavia. Let's go over here then. So this is the 1969 Fiat 125B. Crikey, this is a good looking car. Look at those headlights, very Porsche, aren't they? Porsche 928, very Porsche at the front end there. And then as we scroll through the photos, that is just a beautiful roof line, isn't it? We don't get these roof lines anymore. And the sharp rear end is reminiscent of the Aston Martin. Can never remember which one it's called. But the 70s Aston Martin, if I was to just show you this part of the car, without those holes, because they're quite iconic, just this part here, you may well tell me that that is an Aston Martin. Really interesting looking car, and the price on that is, where is it? £30,000 to £35,000. Lot 33, we've got to open lot 33, haven't we? That is a Maserati, well, it's a Citroen SM, isn't it? Citroen SM Maserati SB Coupe. These are wonderful cars. I won't go into detail on all of the stuff that the Citroen SM did for us, because it was epic. The technology that this car brought over, they were horrendously expensive, and they were extremely luxurious as continent crossers. I'm going to be doing some continent crossing next week, and then if you want, you can fly to the continent that I'm going to and collect my car, but sadly it's not a Citroen SM. Seriously, like if all goes well, that is what I'm going to do next week. I'm going to drive a car to a country and leave it at the airport. First one there can have it. This is a Fiat 131 Super Mirafiore 2000 TC, and it's absolutely wonderful. I love square cars, and I love these little 4-spoke alloy wheels that it's got. What a fantastic looking car. I really like that. Don't you think that's cool? Obviously they all rusted away, and it's probably rubbish, but I love it. How much is it? That's a great looking thing. 15 to 18,000 pounds again. Seems to be the magic number. It is a bit of a proper auction, this, where I like to cover cheap auctions like I did last week. But this is a proper auction. Another gorgeous car here. This is, I think, a Fiat Dino 2400 Bertoni. Were they Bertoni styled? Yes, they were. There's the Bertoni badge, look. And it's brown. And you know I love a brown car. There are some gorgeous cars in this auction. That is my favourite so far. I really like that. How much is it? Estimate 50 to 60,000 pounds. So it'd be interesting to see what this makes. Haven't yet found anything I want to bid on. Lancia Fulvia Sport Zagato. Well, Harry Metcalf has got one of those, and I don't think he's putting it in the Iconic auction in November. I think he should. But I will be doing a special video on the upcoming Iconic auction, so more on that soon. Lancia Flavia. It's a saloon, so let's oh, 2,000 to 4,000 pounds. No, Geoff, don't put a bid on it. Don't put a bid on it. Let's take a look. 2,000 to 4,000 pounds. It's a left-hand drive. It's brown. We like the brown. Oh, low battery. Okay, fine. I haven't got my charger with me, so that means we need to wrap this video up. Okay, we're not going to bid on the Lancia, sadly, because it's over and above the Geoff budget, and it should go for proper money. Some ones here that don't have the photos. Escort 1.6 GL, 2,500 to 3,500 pounds. Another Mercedes SL, 5 to 6. That looks nicer than the Mille Miglia. I'll have this one, please. It's an early one, a 1994 with the 3.2 litre. 5 to 6,000 pounds. Looks a good buy. I like the two-tone on them as well. I think it suits them really well. Toyota Corolla, 3,500 to 4,000 pounds. Some old stuff that I'm not particularly interested in that should be worth more money than it actually is. Lotus, Esprit Turbo S3. We've got to have a look at that, haven't we? I mean, look, come on. It's black. It's got gold wheels. Come on, internet. You can do it. Black, gold wheels, beige interior. That is an iconic-looking car. Oh, I love it. Look at the styling of this thing. It's absolutely beautiful. You have to love this shape, Lotus Esprit. I don't know, a decent side profile picture. That'll do. Look at the slats in the rear, the air vent on the back. I know they're rubbish. They weren't built very well. The interiors are kind of horrible and dated, and it's probably not that fast by today's standards, but what a cool car. How much is it? 35 to 40,000 pounds. Rover 827 Coupe. I'll tell you one thing about Rover. You try sell a Rover, right? Everybody wants to talk to you about your Rover. Nobody wants to buy it. For some reason, nobody buys Rovers. Daimler Dart, not really into those. They're quite ugly. 24 to 28,000 pounds. Tell me in the comments if you like a Daimler Dart. Skip through these without photos. Jaguar Mark 7, 30 to 35,000 pounds. Don't know. Don't really look like a Jaguar to me. And a Mini Countryman. Everybody loves a Mini Countryman at 12 to 14. So we'll see what that makes. I think that'll do okay. Ford Consul, these look good value at 6 to 7, but again, they just don't seem to pick up in value. They've been worth this much money for about 20 years. 1975 Ford Corvette Stingray. There's a Stingray that did really well in the Iconic auction, actually, so it'll be interesting to see what this one makes, because there is a market for American cars in the UK. Lot 60 is an MGB. Everybody's got an MGB. And then let's take a very quick look at this Lotus Esprit Turbo before my computer battery dies. I have bought a new computer, actually, but I haven't got it out of the box yet. I'm working on it. It's on the shelf, you know, so good intentions. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but that's a great looking car, isn't it? Look at these with the sort of drilled alloy wheels, two-piece alloy wheels, red with beige. How much is that? Because that just looks like so much money. 24 to 26, and it's better looking than some Ferraris. Maybe these will come into their own as the people that grew up playing Need for Speed buy cars. But it's more likely that the people that grew up playing Need for Speed are busy trying to put food on the table for their families and can't afford to buy classic cars, and therefore the market's going to crash when disposable income becomes a thing of the past or a privilege of the old people. Lot 62 is a TBR Tamsin, does nothing for me. Not bothered about the Riley replica. Aston Martin V8 Vantage. These with a manual gearbox. Probably the best car you can buy in the world. They genuinely probably are. So much better value than a Porsche, and I think they're more reliable than the 911. So that's a good buy. Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit. We all know that's worth $3,000. No images there, no images there, no images there. That's a Jensen Wolseley Hornet Special. That's lovely, but again, look, it's worth no money. Let's take a look. Go on then. If this video just cuts off, it's because my battery died, which would be hilarious. But that is a nice looking thing. I like that. Yep, I could have that. How much is that worth? 6 to 8. Just no money, is it? Hilux, that is 4 to 5,000 pounds, even though it looks like it's worth about 12p. Everybody loves a Hilux. Not really bothered about a Mini. I never had a Mini, so I don't really have a connection to minis. This one is broken en route to Haynes due to an electrical fault. Excellent. You'd think that was a Citroen. Another Mini. Austin Healey Sebring Sprite replica. £14,500 to £16,500. Not much money, because all the people that know what an Austin Healey Sebring is are getting... I've clicked it by accident. They're all getting a bit old. And the people that want a replica, well, they're fading fast as well. So, chance for a bargain there. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Let's go back to our auction. Lot 78 is a Land Rover. Lot 79 is a BMW 330 Ci, and it's the first one we've seen at the actual Geoff budget. LC02AOY. It's a coupe. It's got those wheels that were only available on the 3 litre, and it's got a sunroof. Is it a manual? It's got a tow bar. Why on earth has that got a tow bar? I'll tell you what, if they've registered me to bid, we'll pop a bid on this just for a laugh. It's a manual coupe. Have they confirmed me to bid yet? I can watch the lot. It looks like I might be in. Should we bid on that? Yeah, go on then. Let's just stick £2,000 on it. No, let's not. Let's stick 1,800 quid on it. No, let's not. Let's stick 1,700 quid on it and just see what happens. Let's confirm that. All right, cool. Let me know if you think I should go more on that. That is done. Oh, that was a terrible idea. Right, let's move on. Let's have a Subaru Brat. I love a Subaru Brat. I quite like the Austin 3 litre. I know you're going to want to see the Austin 3 litre. Crikey, my computer must be on its absolute last legs by now. It's brownie burgundy metallic. It's not metallic, but that's glorious. What a glorious looking car that is. You can see the reflection of the bloke in the paintwork. I absolutely love it. Moving on. A milk float. We could buy that for Lee or Tony. Another Land Rover. I'm not really that interested in Land Rovers. And a Z3 being sold without reserve. Right, screw it. Let's bid on that as well, just for the fun of it, because we're doing an auction. Being sold without reserve. What is it? It's a don't be automatic, don't be automatic, don't be automatic, don't be automatic, don't be automatic. Is it automatic? No, it's manual. I can see the manual gearbox there. Right, we'll have that for 700 quid. There we go. Cool. 2 cars in this auction. Moving on. Mercedes 190. These will go for more money than it needs to, and I find them a bit boring. I've had them in the past. Not bothered about that. Definitely not bothered about that. And that's the end of the video. Brilliant. We made it to the end of the video without losing our minds and losing the battery. Let's take a look at the Z3 that's being sold without reserve, and I will update you later on if I actually bought any of the cars in this auction. Do we like it? 91,000 miles. Which engine is it? Is that a 6-cylinder? That'll go for good money, that will. It is the... Where does it say? Where does it say the engine? I like these with the 1.9. I don't think that is a 1.9, though, so I think that must be the 2.2. But there you go, 2 litre. 2 litre straight 6 engine with a hardtop. Right, cool. So that's that. We are accidentally bidding on cars. I hope you enjoyed the video. And my favourite part of the video was the Peugeot 504, which... and that as well. I did like that. So let's see if we win any of these cars in the auction. Thank you very much for watching. This auction starts in 20 minutes at the time of me saying that, and by the time this video is uploaded, the video will have commenced. Charterhouse, if you're watching this video, I love you guys. I think you're funny. I like following you on Twitter. I've followed you for about 15 years on Twitter, and I always enjoy your content, so keep it up. I will always try and support what you guys are up to, and let me know if you find any Volvos. Thanks everyone for watching. Let's finish on my Beamer. Where's my Beamer? Some good cars in this one, aren't there? 1,700 quid. I might go back to this and put a bit more on. Let's just have a little read before the battery dies. 122,000 miles, alloy wheels, parking sensors, and a tow bar with a manual. I think I've maybe gone in a bit keen at 1,700 quid. We might end up with that. I don't even know what the auction fees are, but it looks clean, doesn't it? You can't find good E46s anymore either. They've all gone missing. No heated seats. Look, the heated seat buttons would be down here. But it's the half wood trim, and it's not an M Sport. I like that it's not an M Sport. That is a nice looking car. It's got the sports seats, but it's not got the sport suspension. And it's got a sunroof. I'll have that, said Burglar Bill. Thanks for watching. Oh, let me know if you got the Burglar Bill reference.